Right, where the hell am I today? Well, unless you haven't bothered reading the description, I'll tell you. Today I'm going to visit little and big waters. Now I presume that the little one is a little bit underwhelming, but the big one's massive and better, but we'll see. I've ran past here years ago, so I don't know a lot about it, and I'll have a proper look. I'm expecting it to be good for waterfowl and things like that. But bear with me today because I'm in a bit of pain, so if I feel a bit subdued in this video, that's why. So I've taken a few pills and I'm just going to get on with it, so let's hope things improve. And I picked something up that might help. I saw this in the garage and I thought, you know what, I've got to try it. See that? Cactus water. Now I wonder if it'll be nice, but that would be a prickly issue. Poor, I know. I wonder if it comes by the barrel. See, barrel cactus. Very, very poor. So let's give this a try. Now, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a plane going over because this is the flight path. In fact, Big Waters is the flight path for the planes coming in for Newcastle Airport. So they come in from the coast and fly over Big Waters and then hit the airport. And interestingly enough, whilst I fiddle with this and try and get it open, interestingly enough, that same flight path is the path taken by Seaton Burn, which is just Burn as in small little river, which travels all the way to the coast. And I've had a hot tip off from Dave at Nature Northeast, go and subscribe, that there might be some otters here. So if I can find some otters, that'll be great, right? It smells like sweets used to do in the olden days when they actually had flavour, right? Let's have a taste of this. 100% natural. Do you know what it's like? If you made a strawberry juice and watered it down about 5 times with a little bit of sap in it, giving it that strange alkali flavour. I wouldn't buy it again, but it's not horrible. Actually, those little things there, I think that's the fruit, isn't it? Known as the fruit of the cactus. Because I remember seeing, who was it? I think it was an episode of Survivor Man, which is one of my favourite programmes with Les Stroud. He's great. He films all his own stuff. It's kind of like Bear Grylls, but without all the stupid theatrical running down hills for no particular reason and then going to a hotel at night and things like that. He films it all himself, especially in Canada, right out in the middle of nowhere. And I appreciate the work he puts in for going backwards and forwards for cameras. I know what it's like just shooting this, so to then have to survive on top of that with no minimal supplies must be very difficult. And I remember he did an episode where I think, see the little dots on the fruit there? It's hard to see. There you go. The little dots. Out of each of those dots, you get more little spikes. Now, they're not like the spikes on the cactus. I think they're called glockets off the top of my head. Essentially, all they are is they're just nature's design of a hypodermic needle, really. Kind of like a mosquito mouth part, I'll say, and they go into the skin and they release an irritant. And if I remember rightly, if you don't take those off properly and you start chowing down on them, you get like, is it something daft like a week of pain in the mouth? I mean, can you imagine that? I just wouldn't bother unless I was absolutely starving. I think you took a stone to take them off. So cactus water, let's give this a mark out of 10. God. It's not horrible. I'll give it 3. 3 out of 10. And you know I'm pretty generous normally, so I'll keep that. A bit heavy to be taken out with me, but let's get on with this. So, not very well today, but I'll do my best. I'm hoping to see some wildlife. If I say not, they're brilliant, but they're very elusive for obvious reasons. You know, they don't want people mucking around. And I heard that someone was throwing stones at them recently, which that doesn't make sense. Even fishermen shouldn't be doing that. It's a waste of time. It's like when I go fishing and I see seals, I'm not going to, you know, go after them with a harpoon gun. So anyway, enough of me chit-chattering. So it's time to make a move. So come on, it's time to do a recce. So as usual, come on, let's hit the map. Right, come on, let's hit this map here. Right, so maps, and where are we? So let's go in, that's where we are. Oh, Golden Touch. Golden Touch, that sounds a bit rude. Anyway, so I'm parked just here, just near the A1. And now as you can see, this blue line here is the burn. So I'll mark that, this blue line here. And it travels. If you go that way, you get to the coast, and if you go that way, you're going inland to the west, nearer to the airport. So we'll come out a bit. So I'm gonna trace along this path here, and then it takes a right. Now this is an access road. That's why I haven't driven down there, and I don't want to annoy the people. And then it actually goes over the A1. And then if you come off this access road, in fact, I'll change layers so you can actually see what the hell's going on. That's better. Right, we can see what we're doing now. Right, let's start again. So I'm going to go along by the Seaton Burn, up, along. And then I'll look up here for Little Waters. So there's Little Waters. Then I'll come back to that section, and then up past this, what looks like a boggy area. I'm not sure what's going on there. Along. And then over the A1. And then down the Farm Access Road, northeast of Mason Farm. And then here, at this point, or was it just before there? No, here I think. Off the top of my head, I'm just trying to remember, but you go down here, along here, and there you go. You can see the tracks there which lead around the water, and there's a little jetty and things like that. I think there's some bird hides. There's one. That's a bird hide. And is that one there? That's one there. So if I can get in, that'll be nice. So if there's people there, I might give them the TrailTrek interview and say, look, get out, so I can have a look. Right, big waters, nature reserves. So what I'll do is I'll have a look, and then I'll probably do a circular and then back. So, right, enough of me messing about. Let's get on with this. Aha, what's this? Look at that. Now that's some interesting fungus. It's almost translucent at certain parts. It's almost like an ear. It actually reminds me of, I think they call it cloud fungus. I just know from Chinese cooking that I do. I quite like it. I had it in Beijing, and it's similar to this. It's all about the texture rather than the flavour. It doesn't really have a strong flavour. It's kind of like a vegetarian version of tripe, really. But it's very interesting. So you can tell there's obviously some decay in here. It's not very healthy, and that's why the mould, which is the green, is taken over, and then the fungus, which is fascinating there. It's always interesting to see different fungi. In fact, this whole, I don't know if you can hear, but there's a drone of traffic, but listen to the birds. I can hear a crow in the background, I can hear sparrows twittering. There's some little snowdrops. Look at that, look how nature takes things back. There's a house brick, obviously been here quite recent. And then there's one that's been here a while. Look how that moss has colonised it. It does not take nature very long to sort things out. It does it all itself. I'm just adventuring in this little offshoot here. There's some daffodils in the distance I can spot. It's quite wild here. You can hear the birds. I just saw a wood pigeon there. I'm wondering what's around here. I think I just heard a robin before as well. There's like a cacophony of bird calls here, it's brilliant. Ah, well, this has been coppiced to a degree. All the saw work you can see that's been going on. Which is a shame, it makes it more accessible to humans, but it can spoil habitat for insects and birds. So it's striking a balance between access for humans to enjoy it, which then gives them a reason to protect the area, and leaving it enough for the birds to get on with things, because I feel very sorry for them. There's a little box up there. Now the hole looks quite big, so I'm not sure what that's for. Woodpecker? This has all been sown. Look at that. And obviously you can tell how long a tree's grown. Each one of these rings represents a year's growth. And they say you can look for good in bad years, so if the rings are close together there was less expansion in the tree, and if there's a growth spurt then conditions were better. And there's some more fungus. Look how bright that is. Crumbs. Actually, if you're looking for insects, this is great because there's dead wood here. Watch, let's see what I can find. You just kick stuff to bits, you'll be surprised what you can find. Normally black beetles, they love habitat like this. Watch this, I'll be proven wrong, there's nothing here. It's not really the right weather, I suppose. But there was something I saw. What was it? Nah, he's off. He's not mucking about. I'll come back later and have a look. Always remember, put things back, because I've just knocked someone's house there. Ah, so interesting area. Apart from the drone of traffic in the background, brilliant area. Birds everywhere. You can see a pigeon in the background there. So if you ever wanted to come and record bird song, if you could find a point when the traffic's at a minimum, you could probably get quite a good selection here. Right, let's get back on track here, because I'm mucking about. I'll never get there. I'm supposed to be finding little waters, whilst these brambles dig into my leg like a torture device. Look at this on this branch. Crumbs. It's absolutely laden. If I can get it to focus. Come on. There you go. That's incredible. But that tree's full of it. I can't find any autumn edibles, unfortunately, or spring edibles yet. You've got to be careful with certain stuff, especially like the wild garlic and stuff. There's some more fungus. This area is thick with the stuff, it's great. Right, come on, let's make them mucking about, let's make some tracks. I've spotted a serious mental health issue here. Let's have a look. It appears, this looks like it's from a dock actually. That's probably where it was originally and it's been repurposed. But anyway, it looks like someone has come unhinged. Do you like that one? Ah, this has been on a dock at some point, and then that's obviously where you put the ropes around. Isn't that interesting now it's got all the way here? That's old lead by the looks of it. Ah, I think it is. Look, if you scratch it, it silvers up. So gouge that out and take it to the scrappy. Actually, I'm not even allowed to do that now, are you? Anyway, let's make tracks. Right, I've made it to Big Waters. It's quite big actually, it's quite nice. There was a funny sight when I got here. I filmed it there. There was some swans on the water there. There's some little ducks there. There was some swans on the water. And then in front of them was a dog and people throwing stones. And then above them was an aircraft. And then behind them was the A1. It kind of, to me, sums up what wildlife has to put up with when their neighbours are neighbours from hell, really. Humans, we really don't think, do we? they have a hard time. They get hit at all angles, and then people go home after smashing everything and put out a bird feeder. It's almost comical when you think about it. But nice here anyway. I can still hear the drone of the traffic. Look at that white duck there. Sat minding his own business. I'm not going to go too close. I don't want to annoy them. By the looks of it, they get enough annoying around here. And there's one of the bird hides, I think, is it? Looks like it. If you remember when I had a look on the map, that was one, and then there was one further away, so it has to be... Is that the other one? Or was that it? There's the other one that I saw on the map. So I don't think you can go around this way, it just stops at marshland, so I'm going to go around to the left and see how I can find. There's a gull. Now I'm terrible at identifying gulls. When I was a kid I thought there was a seagull and that's it. No, that's too easy. There's blackhead gulls, and there's blackhead gulls that change colour at certain times of year so they haven't got a black head, and fulmars and a whole host of stuff, so it's complicated. So let's see what we can spot. There's some nice rushes there as well. I don't know if they're technically bulrushes, but they're certainly rush family. There's that a moorhen there. So there's, he's dipped under there. Where's he going to come up? I like to do that with cormorants. When they dive down for fish, you've got to try and guess where they're going to come back up again. Christ, has he committed suicide? Where is he? Come back up. Oh well, we've just seen a duck commit suicide live. It never came back up. I didn't know they could hold their breath that long. I'm getting worried now. Oh well. What a way to go, eh? Drowning. And you can hear in the background, so birds that go in that direction, I can hear shotguns. So if you go in that direction, you get shot. If you fly up, you get hit by an aircraft. If you go over there, there's a road to kill you. And over there, there's a guy with a dog flying around. So they're getting it from all sides here. Alright, let's see what we can spot. Just spotted some, I think it's called mould fungus. Looks like wolf's blood off the top of my head. But these trees, there's loads of broken bits of trees, so there's loads of fungus knocking about. And obviously someone's been in and cleared this at some point. But there's some brilliant views, look at this. You can have your dinner there and then shoot the birds. What a view, beautiful. There's a big plane up there. Where are you off to? Ah, so it's a nice place. Do you know what? It's nice and horrible at the same time. It's beautiful, but then I feel sad for the animals here because on every side they've got shotguns, the A1, you know, it's just ridiculous. But that's modern life. It encroaches on nature and knacks it every time, so there's nothing you can do about that. You know, big business is always going to win because they've got all the money. There's a duck. So really, I like the place, but I feel a bit sad for the animals here. But it's nice, and I like the fact it's been designated a reserve, so at least it can be looked after. There's another plane. It's like, honestly, it's like being at bloody Heathrow here. Every sort of 60 seconds there's a plane. I don't know how the birds cope. Poor things. So I can hardly hear myself speaking, never mind ducks' calls, so I'm off. Just spotted this. So you've got a fence, barbed wire, and then right in the middle of it, nature is taken over again. It seems to be a theme for this whole area, where man's just come and try to knack it all, and yet nature's just hanging on. And I was sad at first, and I thought, you know what, I'm quite positive, because you know what, when we're long and gone, nature will go back. So that's the only take home you've got from this place. But it's worth visiting, it's nice. So I'm going to work my way back along to that farm access road, and then when I get there I'm going to take a left and go towards Dinnington. I'm not going to go into Dinnington, but it allows you to go around the other side of the water. Aye, so I've got a bit of a bad head today. I should have brought that stupid cactus juice with us. Never mind. That sun's come out. My God, I always do this, don't I? I go, the sun's come out. I had a PM from someone in, was it the Philippines? He said, why you talk about sun? So I had to explain that the hot topic for us Brits is always the weather, because we're always whinging about it. If the sun comes out, we get all overexcited and a bit inflated. So that's what's going on there. Who else did I have a comment from? I had a comment from someone in India who was praising my torch. Well, we call them torches here. It's a very antiquated term, the flashlights. Who was saying, I loved that review of the torch. I think it was the Astrolux. Anyway, back to nature. Look, little thing for the horses there. Alright, so I'm going to go back this access road and then head west. But it's very muddy today, and we had a lot of snow, and thankfully it's all buggered off. There's a little bit left, but most of it's gone. Let's see what else we can spot.
Still going. Well, I've done about 3 miles and I'm probably getting close to Dinnington, but it's so peaceful here. All you can really hear is the shotguns where the birds are being blasted to smithereens, but that's not particularly relaxing, but the rest of it is. Everywhere's flooded here. All the paths, fields, they're all flooded. I presume that's from the snowfall and then the melt. There was a question someone PM'd me about Kit. What was he called? I can't remember your name. I'm very, very sorry. I apologise for that, but I get a lot of messages. And he was saying, should you get a fleece or Gore-Tex? Well, they're for different purposes, really. Gore-Tex is just really a plastic bag with microscopic holes in that lets sweat out. That's the idea anyway, but what they don't tell you is that only works if you're sitting around. Well, if you're outside, you don't go outside then sit down, do nothing, then go home again, do you? You tend to go out and do something. And I know, me personally, I'm quite active. So if you are going to, put it this way, if the rain level's high enough, you're going to need Gore-Tex. Problem with that is, you can't get rid of the moisture fast enough. So all you can really do is, you need to buy something with pit zips. So what happens is, underneath, you can zip holes to vent the excess moisture, because it just can't get rid of the moisture fast enough. So you think, well, hang on, I'm wearing Gore-Tex to keep dry, and yet my body's soaking wet with sweat. So it's, you know, if it's not peeing down, what you're better off doing is just getting a fleece. This is breathing all the time, constantly. It's expiring. I mean, I've done tests myself where I've actually worked out in a gym in very low temperatures, and I've noticed that what happens is sweat beads come to the surface, so all the time a fleece is insulating a warm air layer, but also at the same time what it's able to do is it's able to get rid of the moisture. And I'm very active when I'm out. I walk at quite a quick pace anyway, so I need something like that. So if you are going to get a fleece, so don't get a cheapy rubbish one. You want a one that's quite thick and from a brand name, because some of the rubbish ones, they don't work. So I hope that's answered your question. I'm really sorry I didn't remember your name. I think it began with a V or something, Vikram or something. Oh, sorry. Anyway, let's make some tracks here, because I'm in the middle of nowhere and I'm a bit lost, as usual. But I think that's how some of the best adventures start, where you get lost. So listen to that gunfire. That's multiple shotguns. That, I don't think that's someone with a semi-automatic, because you're not allowed them here. Listen, it's like World War II. Poor birds. Right, I'm off. I don't know if you can hear that, but that barrage of gunfire, it's getting worse. I'm just thinking, if Dinnington's over there, there is a shooting club at Dinnington. So, despite me going, oh, the poor birds, I've probably made the right idiot out of myself, because they're shooting clay pigeons rather than real ones. But it still affects the wildlife, you know, it disperses them from the area. I'm going to try down here. This looks like the right way, past this flooded field, because if I go that way I'll get shot. So, you know, head away from gunfire unless you're engaged in the enemy. That's what I was always told. Right.
Right, I've made it back to Big Waters. So I'm having a sit down. Not because I'm lazy, but I've done 5 miles, so I'm having a sit down. I'm just here with the swans there in the background. They're just mucking about. And it's pretty quiet. I can see someone in the distance, but there's hardly anyone. Yeah, it's weird. But plenty birds, plenty bird life. So I'm going to work my way around again and go back. Because I'm quite tired, and as I said, you know, when I started, I'm not very well today, so I don't really fancy doing a 10-mile odyssey, to be perfectly honest with you. But we'll see how I feel when I get back to the car. So I've got nothing really to rant about today, apart from, look, got a little bit of mud there. Well, that's half the fun, isn't it? So I'm going to have a little rest, take a few cheeky time lapses maybe, and make a little bit of progress. So see you later. Right, I'm back. I've done nearly 7 miles and I've made it back. I didn't see any otters, so I've got a little plan. It's nearly getting dark actually now. The sun's gone right down. So I'm going to nip back from a different car park and have a look and see if I can spot anything. But I've probably not seen anything. If I don't, I'll not add that footage. So let me have some of this cactus water. I'm knackered. Walked around Wideopen. Went over the top of the A1 and then through the farmers' fields into Big Waters. I passed Little Waters, but there's really not a lot there, unfortunately. And the whole area, as you can probably hear now, every like 2 minutes you hear an aircraft. So I don't know how the birds cope with that. You can hear them now. It's like being at Heathrow again. So I had a nice time actually. The weather's been alright. I'm boiling now because I didn't really stop. Although I did stop and speak to a photographer, and I forgot your name, mate. I'm very, very sorry about that. We took some fantastic photographs. He took one of a mallard as it was just landing, and you could see the wings in motion, so that was excellent. He had a really good camera with an excellent lens. And he's self-taught, which I really appreciate, because I'm all self-taught with everything. Most stuff in life, self-taught, you generally end up better. Otherwise, you become less structured. Kind of like when Bruce Lee said, you know, some of these fighting styles can be too rigid. I know what he means. It's kata this and kata that, and you get to the point where you become too structured and memory muscle won't allow you to innovate. But anyway, that's another matter. So I had a nice time. I went around to the west, and then I circled around and had another look, and then came back. I didn't see any Bigfoot. I saw loads of animals. There was geese, Canadian geese, mallards, ducks, cormorants, swans, everything. Absolutely incredible place. I couldn't get in the bird hides though, because apparently, funny stuff this, apparently you've got to pay £10 to get a key for the bird hides. I can understand the reason for that is probably because idiots will go and smash it up. So it's not because I try to make money. Normally I'm like, don't pay for these things, but it'll be to stop idiots. It's a problem of the times. As population increases, people become less humanized towards each other, and this is what happens. So I had a great time. I'm boiling now. I need a rest because I'm not very well today, but I came out anyway for the subscribers, because you know my motto. I was lying in bed and I thought, you know what, my advice to myself would be get out. So I did, and I'm glad I did it now. I just feel extra ill, unfortunately, and this cactus water is doing bottle, so never mind. So marks out of 10. Let's discuss marks here. I felt a little bit sad when I got there because of all the stuff humans that were doing to spoil the area, but it is a nature reserve, and the walk itself's nice and long and varied. If you can put up with the noise of the A1 and the noise of aircraft, it's very nice. I'd give it, let's have a think, 7. Although there is limited area to walk around the actual water, which is probably better for the animals really. But the only problem is it concentrates visitors, so at certain times of the day I can imagine that just being like loads of screaming brats, unfortunately. So take your earmuffs. So I'll give that a 7 out of 10. I've had a lovely time. I'm on the way back now, but I'm going to have a little sneaky look because it's going to get dark in a matter of half an hour. By the time I get back round there, it'll be dark, but I'll have a look. So remember, get out. If I can do it with a headache, you can do it. So get yourself some cactus water and get out. Right, I'm off because I'm not very well. Bye bye.